My name is Jake. I'm pharmacy manager at 7085 and I'm MTM lead for District 649. Today I'm going to share with you an amazing program, something that our profession of pharmacists and technicians and our customers have been demanding for years, nearly probably decades, and now it's finally come through. The program is med synchronization. We get this through Outcomes MTM. I'm going to show you today how you could do a med synchronization quickly, effectively, and in 7 easy steps. So this is something that any of us should be able to do in pretty much any environment. So what will I teach you today? I'm going to go through, they sent out a PowerPoint. I'm going to kind of put it into a more visual term. I'm going to kind of take what Outcomes has sent us, and I'm also going to kind of use what I've learned works really best and effectively in the real world. So without further ado, let's get right to it. The first step that I recommend doing, and so does Outcomes doing, is finding out, of course, you have to go into Outcomes and see what tips you have available to you. Now, you would find it when you go in there, it's going to say tips, it's going to say synchronization, okay? Now, the reason I'm saying to look into Outcomes first is that once you actually reach out to the customer, you have 7 days to do it. So I'm going to say start targeting pharmacists or targeting customers who maybe you kind of know and are still in the area, but still kind of get a picture of people you're going to want to start reaching out to. So that's step number 1, going into the queue, looking at it, reviewing it, okay? Step number 2 is once you kind of have the people that you wanted to talk to, I would say maybe start with about 2 or 3. That's kind of where I go. 2 or 3 is a good number to start with. Go through, print off the med synchronization sheet. I could show you what that is, but it is in Outcomes MTM. There's an email for it. Print off that sheet. It kind of looks like this right here, okay? And I would say go through those top 2 to 3 customers, get a quick look kind of at the medications that they'd use regularly. Of course, you know we want to target blood pressure medications, diabetes medications, anything they use on a regular basis. So we're not really going to be targeting like inhalers unless, of course, they're maintenance inhalers, okay? So I would say step number 2 is coming up with kind of like a general plan, because if you fail the plan, you plan to fail. So make sure you kind of get a little picture of what you want to do. This not only saves you time in the long run, it kind of gives you more standing kind of with your customers. So number 2, make a plan. Step 3 is seeing who you is actually block timing, making the calls or setting up the time for when your customers come in. I kind of like to look to see, okay, do I have Mrs. Jones medications ready? Is this something that I can talk to her when she comes in, or staple it on there and staple the med synchronization guide on there and have one of my team members ask her? Or am I gonna go through it in block time and make calls? But the reason I keep saying block time is because they've done studies that's found out that if you actually write down the time and the date and where you're gonna do it, you're gonna be 91%. There's a 91% greater chance that you're actually going to follow through. So with our really busy, hectic work life, we have to make sure we're block timing it because things can very easily get behind. So step number 3 is actually reaching out to the customer and actually making those calls or asking the patient when they're there. Step number 4 is, great, we got a hold of them, we're talking to them. Hey, Mrs. Jones, this is Jake, your pharmacist. I'm just calling to let you know about this great new program that came out. Basically, I'm going to be able to, would you be interested in me being able to sync all of your medications to fill on the same date so you don't have to keep coming 2, 3, 4 times a month? 9 times out of 10, people are going to say, yes, I've been wanting this forever. So this is the cool thing about this program is that people actually want this to happen. Now, we work in a busy environment here. So this is where we're going to kind of go off a little bit from what Outcomes says, but I am going to actually recommend 2 different things, okay? If you're really busy, things are really cranking, all of a sudden there's a line there, you can do 2 different options. I can say, you know what, Mrs. Jones, this is what I can do for you. I can go through, I will set up the program for you, I will pick a date that works best for you. I'm going to be honest with you, you might have to come in one more time so we can get, you know, the little bit filled, and then we're going to set a date for you, and then I'm going to follow up with you shortly and we'll set that date. How does that sound? 9 times out of 10? Great, that sounds perfect. You can also have your techs do this too. This does not have to be us making these calls. So I want you to know that's another cool thing about this as well. So if you have the time and you're on the phone with them, you can go through, set up the dates. That's the next step there, is actually setting up the times and the dates. So that's step number 5, is actually coming through with that plan. what dates you're going to fill it on. Do you need to do an early fill? Do you need to do a later fill to make sure you get that one set date going? This sometimes can be a little tougher at first than it seems, but you will get used to it and it will get faster as time progresses. That's step number 5. Step number 6 is actually executing the plan. So you came up with this awesome plan, and you're gone for the week, and there's somebody who doesn't usually work there. You have to make sure that this actually happens because we made a promise to our customers. What I found works is that get a planner. You can go on the floor, requisition a weekly planner. I have like a little one. It's about this big. It's a daytime planner, I think. What I do is I print out my med sheet, print it off like this, have all the times in there. I fold it and I set it in there for the week that we have to do it, and I forget it until that week comes up. Now when that week comes up, take it out. Boom, boom, boom. Mrs. Jones has a med fill coming up on June 17th. Oh, I'm going to be gone that week. I'm going to be at Disney or whatever. So I'm going to make sure my partner Mark knows, hey, on June 17th, make sure Mrs. Jones does blank, blank, blank. Make sure we fill XYZ for her. Any kind of call to action for you. I'm a huge iPhone fan, but of course we have to be careful of personal information. But maybe you could put in a call to action like set alarm 11 a.m. for Wednesday, June 17th to fill prescription, and then that way you know that there's a prescription there to do it. So any kind of call to action that works for you, but make sure there's a call to action because we don't want to just make promises to our customers and not follow through, because this is a cool program. Step number 7 is making sure we actually submit to this payment. It's a super easy process. I think it was literally like 1 or 2 pages. You click bing, bing, bing. You click through, did you call the patient? Did they say yes or no? It was super simple. I was actually really surprised at how fast it was. And you put it in. Now the key is, the reason I did step 1, where you check to see which customers are there, is you have 7 days to submit it, okay? So I found that out kind of the hard way, but make sure you're getting reimbursed for this. So make sure you have 7 days to submit this in. So there you are, 7 steps with how you can set up med synchronization in any type of busy pharmacy. What I want you to do now is go actually do something about it. So I actually want you to block time, go through these steps. Make sure you go requisition that calendar from the sales floor. Tell your team about what's going on. Make sure they know so they're not coming in and, there's the customer sitting there standing and they're like, oh, I have this sheet, here you go. There's that opportunity that's leaving us. We always want to capitalize on opportunity, especially now that it's starting to slow down more. So there you go. 7 easy steps for med synchronization in a little over 7 minutes. I hope you guys make it a great day. Take care.